Welcome back to BWO Daily, your source for news in sports entertainment and the world of professional wrestling from you boys at Busted Wide Open. My name is Nick Howell.
And I am Sir Ian Dangerous. And today we have some sad news. It seems like Lana, CJ Perry, her mother and father are in the ICU right now with the COVID-19 virus. She announced on Twitter that her mom was feeling short of breath and they were rushing her to the hospital. Once they got there, apparently her mother was diagnosed with the disease and is now on oxygen. The scary part about this is that her mother is actually an asthmatic. So that's obviously something that you don't want to be. It means that you're particularly vulnerable to this virus, seeing as it is a respiratory virus. So very scary there. She is asking for thoughts and prayers. Obviously, it's the best we can do at this point. They have a medical team working. But the scariest thing about the whole thing is that her dad has it too. So Lana now has both her parents in the ICU right now. So send lots of love her way because that is no good these days.
Yeah.
Other people have had their parents die from this stuff before, so it's very scary. Conan, for example, recently told Dave Meltzer that his mother passed away from COVID a few weeks ago. So it is a very scary thing, and obviously the toll is mounting here in the United States. So scary stuff indeed.
Yeah, but all the best to Lana and her family. Mero, everybody that's over there, just thoughts and prayers. This is serious stuff, guys.
Take it seriously. Wear a mask. Wear a mask, please. And it's the scary thing about this is that she says they never go outside, so she's not sure even how they caught it. So she's there at a certain point. I hope they got to find the vector that got it in there. Maybe they got a delivery. Who knows? I know I'm scared. My parents never go outside either. And my dad's at risk, so that's something that I hear and just go, please, no, stop, just wear a damn mask. But whether or not you get COVID, the Reaper does come for us all, I hate to say, and unfortunately it came for Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon's grandmother. She passed away on June 30th. They're just talking about it now. Her name was Evelyn Edwards. She's actually Linda's mom. So it's their grandmother on the maternal side. Stephanie tweeted out last week, my 93-year-old grandmother passed peacefully, surrounded by people who love her. One of the last things she said to me was, let there be love. Love is what heals us all. To anyone who is hurting or struggling, I send my love to you. R.I.P. Mima, and thank you for everything. She did pass peacefully in her home. It's a funny story how this all happened. Vince and Linda actually met each other because his mother, Vicky, was working at the same Marine Corps Air Base as Linda's mom, Evelyn. So the moms got Vince and Linda together, apparently. So rest in peace, Evelyn Edwards. And our condolences to the McMahon family,
yes,
obviously, as well. If you watched AEW this week, you know that there was a surprising return, not of a wrestler, but of a belt. A very unique belt, a belt called the FTW belt. Not to be confused with FTR. That's something different entirely, although they both apparently sometimes have curse words attached to them. Yeah. The FTW belt, for those of you who don't recall, was actually a belt tied to Taz back when he was in ECW in 1998. He actually was supposed to be facing Shane Douglas for the ECW Heavyweight Championship. Shane was legit injured at the time, and Taz was dealing with his own injuries, but they couldn't have a match. And so as a way to kayfabe it, Taz came out with this belt and declared himself the FTW champion, the Brooklyn champion, whatever you want to call it. He's basically saying he's the baddest dude in the room, and this is his belt to prove it. And if you were a badder dude than him, you had to take this belt away from him. The only other person who ever took the belt away from him in ECW was Sabu.
Yep.
Which if the criteria is you have to be a badass to hold the belt, I'd say Sabu qualifies.
Yeah.
I just throwing that out there. Kind of a badass.
Yeah.
But Sabu's the only other guy who ever held it in ECW, and then it was unified with the ECW Championship. The only other people that have ever held an FTW belt, and it wasn't even a legitimate belt, was over in XPW, if anyone remembers them from the early 2000s. Chris Chetty. I remember because it was in LA, and it was trying to be an ECW knockoff, and it was run by like a porn king, and it was very seedy.
Oh.
It was very seedy. Probably one of the
I think I was all in on CZW at that time.
Well, that would have been a better thing to be into, but because XPW was very, it was very messed up. One of the wrestlers was Messiah, and the promoter actually had his thumbs cut off because he slept with the promoter's wife. Not even kidding. Look it up. It was probably the most scared I've ever been at a wrestling show.
I'm over here worried about power bombs off of rider trucks through light tubes. And
oh yeah,
good Lord.
That's the nice stuff. That's the easy stuff. No, but XPW, Chris Chetty held it and actually lost it to Dangerous Donnie Doring, who was an ex-ECW wrestler. So those are the other guys who held the belt, but it wasn't a legit one. And this is where we come to the interesting part, because the belt that Taz brought out on AEW is the legitimate, actual FTW belt. And that's the very one he held back in ECW. He's held it the entire time because he owns it. He owns the intellectual property. He owns the copyright. FTW belongs to him, not to ECW, not to WWE, but to Taz.
Interesting.
So that's why he is able to give that belt out. So that's kind of a cool little something there. That's Brian Cage is actually holding the legit FTW belt. Only the third person in history to ever legitimately hold that belt. Taz tweeted out, "New FTW World Heavyweight Champion. The baddest son of a bitch in wrestling has just been crowned, and it's a world champion that shows up no matter what and ready to fight. And also not some special attraction that makes an appearance here and there." Wonder who he's talking about. "The machine is here to stay and is kicking ass, taking names, and collecting one more title next week." We'll see about that. He's referring to the upcoming match at Fight for the Fallen with Jon Moxley. We'll see if he takes that title too. We'll see about that. This is a good way to have Cage be strapped without actually strapping him. So we'll see what the FTW belt gets up to over there in AEW, but don't expect it to be too far from Taz, because as I said, he owns the damn thing.
That is a bit of a revelation. I was a huge ECW mark, loved it, and I thought it was wholly tied to ECW, just like the WWE has their U.S. Championship and the Intercontinental and all. Everybody brand has their own belts and everything, and I could have sworn that was one of the sort of staple belts. My memory must have escaped me. I had no idea that Taz actually owned the copyright and all of that stuff to do with
Came up with
the
the concept
belt
himself. Came up with the concept to pitch it to Paul Heyman. So
learn something new every day.
that's why we report on it, Nick. A couple of birthdays real quick. Happy birthday to Marc Mero. He turns 60 today. The Wild Man turns 60 today. Johnny B. Bad. Johnny and Bad. Also, we'd be remiss if we didn't wish happy 45th birthday to Shelton Benjamin. That's right. He turns 45. Happy birthday to him. Minnesota, one half of the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. He's an absolute badass. Happy birthday to Shelton. Happy birthday to Marc. And that is the news.
Well, thank you very much, Sir Ian Dangerous. Again, our best thoughts and prayers and condolences out to both the McMahon family and Lana and her parents.
And to Conan. No condolences yet. Let's hope we don't have to wish her condolences.
I did say the McMahon family, but
yes,
thoughts and prayers, everybody. Just please be safe out there. Please take this seriously. There's a reason the curve is going back up. It's not some faux reason. And if nothing else, just be courteous. Just be kind. That's all it is. It's just a kind gesture. That's all it is. But on that bombshell, make sure you look down in the description below. Find your way into our Discord channel to prepare yourself for the live chats coming up for Extreme Rules in WWE. We've got Fight for the Fallen happening. We've got Friday Night SmackDown. We've got all kinds of good stuff. Plus, you also want to make sure you're subscribed right here on the channel by slamming that red subscribe button and jingle your notification bell. Set it to all so you get notified anytime we put up a new episode of BWO Daily or go live on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern and every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. But my name is Nick Howell. You can find me on Twitter at DataCenterDude.
And I am Sir Ian Dangerous. You can find me on Twitter at Sir Ian Dangerous.
And we will see you guys next time.